I didn't know when I started this that I would have so much support from my friends, from my family, from a lot of people I hadn't met yet. I don't know, it just feels surreal. Gone from like one of my lowest points and feeling not worthy to almost selling out. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I'm crying, but I'm just so happy. Thank you guys so much for everyone who ordered. Even if you couldn't, if you were sharing it, like, that means so much because of that, I was able to connect with so many people too. So it's super cold. My glasses are fogged up, but it was my third time. I just checked. This is my third time this week being at Sam's Club. One more store to go, and then I'm gonna start working on the bread. And I still need to stop by to do some personal stuff. And yeah, I'm excited though. A lot of work to do. I didn't realize I should have just gone super early in the morning, but it was freezing and I just thought like, okay, well, I don't want to go out. It's too cold. And you know what? It doesn't matter what time of day. It's going to be cold all day. Hi everyone. Okay, so I completely forgot to film when I was doing all of the things for the Valentine's Day kits. What ended up happening was, actually I could show you the packaging. I went through a lot with the packaging, and the reason why it took me so long to, well, why I didn't film just in general, was because I ended up going to the store. Some of the stores didn't have what I needed, so I had to call my mom. Mom ended up having to basically video call me while she was shopping for things for me. But I'll show you kind of the evolution of what the packaging was from the beginning until when I actually delivered, because I have some leftovers, but I first want to go over the packaging that I did not end up using, because that still went through my budget, which I will share with you guys the Excel sheets that I was using as far as for planning my ingredients, and then also how I took into account all of my receipts. And in the back, you can see probably back there is still my receipts from that day. And actually, you guys, it has been crazy here in Dallas. So we ended up having a snowstorm on Valentine's Day. I had my deliveries Friday and Saturday. And from those days, I basically delivered everything. That last order was picked up on Saturday, late in the afternoon, and then I was free, and I was so tired, you guys don't even know. And my mom helped out so much. So if she's watching this, thank you. I absolutely could not have done it without my mom. So that was super great that I was there, and I'm so glad that most of my orders, well, all my orders were from Plano. So thank you everyone from Plano for really just like doing that. It was my first time, and I think I would have died by myself, and I don't think I would have finished the deliveries. Anyways, this was the first pouch here. And this pouch I ended up not using because, okay, my first day that I went to look for packaging, I was wanting to get mason jars. I went to Daiso, and if you guys have never been to Daiso, it's a Japanese, basically dollar store, but most of the items are priced up a little more. And the mason jars there, I believe, were almost $3, and if I would have spent $3 per order, I wouldn't have been able to manage to get all of them from there. So I decided, well, let me take a look at these bags, and I'm gonna take them out of the packaging. And okay, so they're like this, right? Super cute. And I think these would be really cute for, it's not called jelly here, is it? Jam. It's called strawberry jam. So any type of jam I think would be cute here. But when I put it in, I tried it, and because the liquid would settle, it would become almost like a paste. And I don't know, I felt like if I was a consumer, I would lose a lot of product in here. And so I decided against it. So that was one thing to go. I'll probably still use these for personal use. And then the second one was for the salad. I had these plates. I thought this is cute because it's clear all around, you know, like the salad's coming in here. But the thing is, I don't know if you can tell, but you can't close this. So it would just open, and I would have to probably use a rubber band or a ribbon. And at that point I was like, I don't know about all of that, right? Like, I don't know how tacky it would look using a rubber band, and at the same time, is a ribbon actually gonna hold this closed? And not much salad, as you can tell. It's pretty, not very deep, but here, there's not much room for salad to go into. So I kind of felt like it was just wasteful, because I wanted to get everyone who bought the most salad, the most of everything. So I'll go ahead and show you guys. Let me show you my kitchen. It's been a little bit crazy, so I'm gonna turn this around. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the stuff now that I'm in the kitchen. Now that I have everything together, I'm gonna show you guys, first of all, everything that I'm gonna show following this was put into this bag here. This was a large size bag, and everything fit nicely in here. And what came inside of it was, of course, the pasta. So for the pasta, I put them in these little bags, and these were last minute purchases. These were last minute purchases from Hobby Lobby. So I got the pasta in here. So 2 bags of pasta, 1 container came in there. And then for the salad, I ended up finding these little aluminum tins, which were great. For the salad dressing, I had these white containers with a lid, and I kind of wanted to have some of the items be usable after, so that the people could take these and use them for their own need afterwards. So you just have to wash it. Same thing with the mason jar. So for the bread that came with it, I ended up finding these like super cool bags. I thought they were super cute. And once I ran out of those went pretty fast. I had these as backups. These were my original packaging that I wanted for the pasta, but these were a lot more expensive. And so I thought, you know, like, we'll back it up for anything that we need. If it's pasta, if it's anything. These came in a pack of 5, and they were, I think, around $3. So it was already pretty pricey for these. We ended up using them anyways for the bread, and that was my only remainder one. We added Parmesan cheese, 2 containers similar to this one, in case you wanted to sprinkle the cheese on top of your pasta. And then we bagged them in these little gift bags. So we would kind of package this so it would look more Valentine's Day, a little bit cuter. And if anything spilled, it would spill within this bag and not the other bag. And lastly, let me show you guys. I know we got these delivered a little bit later, so some of the orders came with them, but I think the orders from day 1 didn't. And I apologize to everyone on day 1. But these were Casual Creations. So Brianna over at Casual Creations, she created these. Super nice material. They're super thick. I loved them. And this almost, it is exactly like the website that we ended up building for the orders. So it just comes with your ingredients, what you need to take out from your own pantry, and then the procedure on how to cook everything. Sorry to the people who picked up the first day. I was so underprepared for everything that day. I guess in my head I thought, like, I'm ready, everything's gonna be easy, and then, you know, it was me against the clock, and then everything just happening super fast. Okay, so the first day of pickup, I was so overwhelmed with everything I needed to do. So I made the bread that morning, and I was the most scared about the bread. That's why I made it so early on, was because I had messed up so many breads. And I know in the previous vlog, I had changed the recipe and I had tried like different temperatures, and you guys saw me mess up a lot of bread. And that was like my biggest scare going into the actual day of delivering was what happens if I mess up the bread. And I didn't focus on the actual pasta making, and that was my mistake because I had to roll out pasta so fast because I made the sauces. So it was the bread, then the sauces, and then the pasta. And I was just struggling to roll out the pasta. Like, my hands and my wrist hurt so bad. I don't have a pasta machine. I am the pasta machine, and I have to roll and cut, and I mean, even I need everything by myself. And it wasn't like I had anyone here to help me, because my idea the first day was, hey, I'm gonna cook everything at my apartment and then take everything to my mom's house to just have to package. But I realized closer to the afternoon, it was already like 3 p.m. I was like, this is not gonna happen. There's no way. And I also had to pick up the instructions from Brianna from Casual Creations, and I just did not have time. I already had to deliver one of my orders, and I just cut it close with everything, and I wish I would have, I don't know how I would have prepared. I guess you just have to go through it, right? And so that was my mistake for day one, was not being prepared enough. And then day two was just great. My mom was there and she helped me package. So she literally packaged the sauces. So I still made the sauces that morning. I still made the bread, but my mom packaged the bread after it was warm. She packaged the sauces. She packaged the salad with the tomatoes and with the dressing. She put them in cups. I grated all the cheese and she just put it into the little cups, which was great. And she made sure that everything, all the orders that day had everything that they needed. So she ensured that the salad was there, the bread was there, the cheese, the dressing, the thank you card, and that it was the correct order going to the right person. So having my mom there and doing it from her house was so useful. So let's talk about how the kit became successful. So my goal in mind before going into it was to do 4 orders. And I mean, for me, the 4 orders were just to break even and to kind of, it was just motivation. So whenever you're doing this, if you're starting a business, have the pricing of everything on hand so that I could know how much I was spending and how many kits I needed to sell to break even. Set my max at 12 because that's something that I felt like I could have done, which now thinking about it, like I sold 8. So 8 is the number I sold, and I think that was the perfect number to have on this first sale because this is like my first time making this and the first time really having to deal with this timeline of things having to be done because people really are going to pick up. I think if I would have had 12, I would not have managed. And I am grateful for all 8 orders and thankful that everyone was very patient with me. So thank you guys if you guys are watching this. But let me go to the budgeting aspect. I'm actually going to show you guys. So I'm going to just screen record my own Excel sheets. So here's my Excel sheet. This was for my orders. On the far left, I had the person's name, the date they ordered, the pickup, sauce, cake, and if they had paid. I haven't updated it, but everyone paid. And if I had to add anything, I would probably add their contact information on this list as well. And this is my other list, and this was just the price per item, and this helped me calculate my cost and what I was spending. Okay, so now that I showed you kind of my Excel sheets and showed you how I planned out the pricing of just everything in general, my packaging, I want to go over kind of marketing and how I went about doing that. So for marketing, I decided I wasn't going to pay any ads. So if you have the money to spend on advertisement, I would suggest, if you're a small business, doing a boosted post versus like a whole campaign. What I did was all organic, so I didn't pay for anything, but I did spend a lot of my own personal time doing a lot of video editing. So using the new features on Instagram, I used Instagram Reels, I used everything. So I did I think 2 Instagram reels for the announcement. I did 1 IGTV, I did 1 static post, and then I did a lot of stories. And the way that I went about it was just being very honest with everything. I was honest with leaving about my job. Well, I was honest about leaving my job, the reasons why I left it, and how I was feeling about it, and how cooking genuinely did give me just excitement again. So I was honest to myself, and it was hard to share, but I was honest with people that I knew and that followed me on online. There was a lot of emotions. I was very scared, obviously, to be vulnerable, and also to, and like, I've talked about this so much, and about like failure and feeling like when you leave, or leaving my job felt like a failure, but it really genuinely did feel like a failure. And I was scared to share that because a lot of my friends have been very successful in their careers. I mean, even in my family, they've been very successful, and something that me and even my family don't talk about is how we're doing in work. You know, we're never honest. We're just always like, yeah, we have work, it's good to have work. But it was hard knowing that everyone was seeing it. But I think it turned out positive, and people really were willing to see my product, and they saw like, hey, like, she is dedicated. And I hope that, you know, at the end of the day, they did love their products, and they weren't just doing this to help me out. And no, I don't have a big group of friends, but I found a community, which is what I want to talk about next, is these communities of business owners that you'll meet and that you have the ability to, but you have to be willing and to be honest. You have to be willing to put information out there, let people know about you, and also not be scared about talking about your product. So for me, I shared a lot of videos of me failing at making bread. I was honest that I was not the best at making it. I was trying, and I was also honest with the flavors of everything. So if something wasn't coming out good, or if something wasn't where I wanted it, I would be honest and post it online and be like, hey, I made this, it's not the best, so I'm gonna make more. And people knew where I was on my journey with the kit. People kind of knew, you know, like everything I was struggling with and things for the kit. And people wanted to keep up, and they wanted to see the finished product, which, you know, I posted as soon as I got like the photos, and then we staged some photos for the actual static post. But again, I did videos. So I did the YouTube video last week. That video was posted also onto Facebook. A lot of the posts from Instagram were shared onto Facebook, but then the content that I was creating for TikTok had to be different than the stuff I was posting on Instagram, you know, because it's different age groups, and just the content should be different because it's its own platform. So I would suggest, if you are doing organic content, you know who you're posting for and what platform you're posting on, and just decide for different content, even if it takes longer, because that worked out for me. So my videos did pretty well on Instagram Reels when I made them different than the TikTok version, and I just didn't download it. But yeah, again, it was a lot of work. Every day I was either filming for the videos, or I was taking pictures, or I was staging, or the one that took me the longest was editing, because I want to make my videos for not just myself. I want to make them for my aunts. I want them to see what I'm doing. So I have to translate, and I have to put in the subs. So it's just hard work, especially when, you know, like, you're not getting paid for it, but you know that you're like, you start seeing results. You start seeing people in the community wanting to see what you're doing. So I guess that's where you get your reward. And that's where I felt like I was doing well, and it felt like I was using my skills I had learned in my job to market my own product. And I was very proud with the results. And I think if I would have started earlier, like at the beginning of February, like that first week, I would have gotten my full 12 orders. but I am so grateful that I got the 8 orders that I did, because it was just enough for me to really test the waters and for me to fulfill those orders, because I don't think I would have fulfilled the 12 orders. So now I'm going to be more personal, because I started this journey with just wanting to use this as a way to find what I wanted to do and see if I wanted to go back to my job, or if I wanted to test, some other ways of making income, which was for me cooking. And you know what, like, I love cooking and I want to learn more. And I think now that I've done this, I know that like there's so many other things I want to do with cooking, but at the same time I want to have an income. So I am still applying for jobs. I haven't given up, and I do have some interviews set up, but I want to continue doing food for at least this year, because I want to be sure that, I gave it my all and I tried my hardest. And if my destiny is to be in the food industry and just learn more about cooking and do this kit, then so be it. I'm gonna like try and see where that takes me. But I feel more comfortable, I feel more confident, and I definitely feel like I learned a lot more about just social media in general, and it gave me an opportunity to meet great people and have great connections. And I think I will definitely be doing more kits in the future, especially this year. And I think that because I have this like newly gained confidence, I feel comfortable about doing these kits again. But also I think I've lost this fear of failure, because before I felt like, well, who's gonna buy this kit? Who's gonna wanna actually like help me? Who cares about my story? And it was always like, I was so scared that things wouldn't go the way that I envisioned them. And right now, even when I was making the kits, I had this like moment of just saying, even if no one buys them, at least I know I gave this a shot, and I'm not gonna be thinking, well, what if I would have done this when I was this age? And I think that when I was growing up as a teenager, like obviously I didn't have that fear of like time is running up, but right now it just kind of feels like, we're getting older and it gets harder when you have more responsibilities. And I think right now I just want to try as many different things and see where I fit and see what fits me. And I think that I'm unafraid, and that, right now is the time to enjoy that. I'm excited to share with you guys this journey and, make the best out of it, even if it's just boring sometimes, or sometimes I'm down. I just want to share those times, because, it happens. It happened yesterday, it happened today, just feeling like after the project I had worked so hard on, now it's over, and now I'm just like, well, what is my purpose again? But I have good days, I have bad days, and I am excited to share those with you. So if you come back next video, probably more cooking, and then I'll keep you guys updated on any interviews that I have and life in general. And there's a lot of recipes that I want to share with you guys, and I'll be learning pretty soon. So please come back next week.